Welcome to Jennifer with Coffee, a mindset podcast for people who are looking for real change. I'm Jennifer Lauer, writer, yogi, and fitness fanatic. Lately, I've been having lots of coffee meetups, long, honest conversations that delve into mindset, identity, choices, and habits that shape our lives. I kept thinking how I wanted to share these conversations, so here we are. Each episode moves in 3 beats: an inspirational story, an interview with thinkers, builders, athletes, and artists, people who want to share their own transformations. And we'll end with a brief meditation to practice calming the nervous system. If you've been connecting with the stories and conversations here, I've also written some fiction that explore emotional spaces. One is an AI dystopia, and the others are part of a paranormal mystery series. So if you're ever curious, you can find them on my website, jenniferleelauer.com. Today's inspo is about mantras we can give to kids, and it's part of an idea that we can rewire the brain to think more positive thoughts. Because our brains naturally go to the negative, which is an important biological reason. You know, when we were out on the savannah hunting, we needed to be alert for wild animals. If we ate a berry and we got sick for 2 days, we would remember that berry was bad because it would cause our brain to make this deep core memory of like, that is an unsafe berry or that is an unsafe area. Our instincts are really based on our survival, are still the same brains that we had in those caveman times. They've developed in different ways, of course, but those basic instincts of survival are hardwired. A way to help hardwire more positive things for our modern world is by adding mantras to the pathway. One of the ways that I've tried to help my kids develop those positive pathways is by doing mantras. And I've read so many mantras, and I'm sure I got these from books and podcasts. Here is the one that I have had my kids do since they were little. Sometimes we're better at repeating it than other times, but we had this goal during elementary school that every day before school they would have to say the mantra, and sometimes they did it very begrudgingly. However, I have the hope that one day when they're grown up and going through something hard, there will be in the back of their mind these positive words. So the mantra that we use is, I am kind, I am calm, I am brave, I am loved. So those 4 things: I am kind, I am calm, I am brave, I am loved. And I have to say that since we started doing it, I have used that myself when I'm going through something difficult. I hope that helps. If that's something you're interested in, it's a nice thing to do right before bed or right before school, and you just have them repeat it out loud. I am kind, I am calm, I am brave, I am loved. Today's episode is going to be a solo episode where we're going to discuss mindset strategies. If you're struggling with accomplishing a goal, today we're going to talk about some strategies that I've used to get beyond the struggle and make it happen. I understand life gets in the way. We have family responsibilities, health struggles, either of our own or close family and friends. We have work obligations and social ties and commitments. And when all is said and done, it often leaves our time and our energy unavailable for the goals and dreams we have. I'm going to go over 5 things that have worked for me and tell you exactly what I did and how long it took for me to accomplish said goal. One thing that truly changed the way that I look at goal setting was reading Carol Dweck's book, Mindset: The New Psychology of Success. In it, she coins the term growth mindset. And I think a lot of people grow up learning about growth mindset, but I did not. This was all new information for me and really changed the way I thought about the things I wanted to achieve in my life. The first one we're going to talk about is adding yet to something you want to achieve. We'll start with the low-lying fruit for me, which was I had wanted to become an author. Every New Year's Eve, I would take out my notebook and write down 10 goals that I had for the upcoming year. I do think there's something about the reset of a new year, and it became a great time to set out my goals, and have a plan. Now, you could do this on New Year's Eve. You could do this on your birthday. You could do this every season. You could never do it. It's up to you. But for me, I would make goals every New Year's Eve. And every New Year's Eve, I would put the goal on my list, probably number 1, author. Become an author. Write a book. This was literally on my list for at least 10 years. Every time I would put it on my list, I would revisit my goals. When the next year came, I would never get to cross that off my list. The idea of adding yet really helped change the way that I thought about it. So instead of thinking, I'm a failure, I'm not an author, I'm not a writer, I added the word yet. And when I read this in the book, I was thinking, oh, that's a really good way to think about it, but I'm never going to remember to do that. I started thinking of myself as I'm not an author yet, instead of I'll never be an author, or I failed to finish my work and get myself to that goal. And this can work with so many goals. No matter what you are thinking about doing, just tell yourself you're not there yet, because every goal takes baby steps and consistency to get there. And if your big dream is to go to space, if your big dream is to get a dog, if your big dream is to write a book or become a movie star, whatever your dream is, just add I'm not there yet. And it somehow makes it a little more palatable as you go about the business of becoming. One other little thing that I have talked about before is the idea of little cues about it. So one of my dear friends gave me a little bracelet, like the little friendship beaded bracelets with the letters. And she gave me one that she made before I had even finished a book. And it just said, Jen, author. And I wore that bracelet. And it was such a good reminder to me that this is something I was becoming. That I wasn't there yet, but I would become that. And I have to say that now I am an author. I feel very strongly that thinking about the becoming of it really helped change and get me to that place. Wherever you are now, you will get there. You're just not there yet. Number 2. This one sounds great, but when you're in the moment, it's really, really hard. I feel like this is a really big challenge, but if you can master this, it will be really helpful in your journey. Expect setbacks and keep going. My recent version of this is when I decided to do a solo Hyrox race. I trained for months for this race. I was trying to get the best time that I could. I worked really hard. I was all excited for this race. I had to travel to Phoenix. On the day before the race, I got a migraine. This is not abnormal in my life. I do get migraines, but having it happen right at the moment of the race was so frustrating. And yes, I had medication, but of course I was nervous about taking it while doing the race. That was going to be so hard on my body. I have to say that during the race, instead of it being like all of the training that I'd done, it was so hard. It was much harder. All of the things that happen when you have a migraine, the lights, the sounds, all of your senses are at the highest volume possible. I really struggled during that race, and I wanted to quit so many times. But while I was preparing for the race, I did tell myself there are going to be setbacks that you can't plan for. I tried to plan for the unplannable. That little bit of expectation that I had that something could go wrong and that I needed to just keep going. And there were many, many setbacks. If you want to listen to my Hyrox experience, I did record 2 podcasts, the before training and then the after of the race. If you look back in the episodes, you can find those. And I go over every detail of the Hyrox because it was quite an experience. I would say that whatever your goal is, instead of just looking at it as this big shiny trophy that you get, whether it's running a marathon or getting a promotion or writing a book, whatever your goal is, remember that on your way there, on the journey to that goal, expect setbacks and keep going. Just remind yourself, you are going to have things come up that you couldn't plan for if you tried. When you know that going in and you don't expect it to be this smooth path up, it makes it easier to keep going past that roadblock. Expect the setback is number 2, and then just keep going. Number 3, use criticism to improve rather than implode. I will say, this one was a hard one for me to learn over my lifetime, but because I feel everything so deeply, and I used to be a much more black and white thinker when it came to critiques. So now I can hear a critique and use it to fuel myself. Earlier in my life, I would just take it as a sign that this was a roadblock. You're not cut out for this. Let's throw in the towel. I was very harsh on myself. And I've learned for the things that I really truly want and things that truly align for me, all I need to do is take the criticism and either I agree with it or I disagree with it. If I agree with it, I use it to inform my next step. If I don't agree with it, I let it go. An example, when I was working on my first novel, I was just iterating and iterating on the first chunk of the book. So I think I was in the first 150 pages trying to perfect, especially the beginning. Everyone talks about how important it is to hook the reader and how the beginning needs to really move. And I had all of these books that I'd read about writing a book in my head and all of these authors in my head. I heard about this editor who worked for one of the big 5 publishing houses, and the editor was doing some freelance work. I think someone had given me their info. I was so excited, but also a little nervous. And basically what you would do is you would send them 50 pages of your manuscript. For a fee, they would give you an edit and they would tell you what they thought about it. And I was like, oh, well, this will be great because I've been working on these first 150 pages for at that point, probably a year. So I sent out the 50 pages, and when I received the edit back, it was devastating to me. One of the biggest notes, so the first chapter of the book, was basically an argument between the main character and her husband. And it was so realistic and painful. And I tried to make it so real. I went over it and over it, used every metaphor that I could and, all of the pretty words. The editor was just like, this is very well written. However, it's really hard to read. It's not enjoyable for the reader. I took that to heart so hard. And all I thought was, what an idiot I am. How did I not think of that? Who wants to read dark, sad, heavy? Now, of course, there are plenty of books that start with arguments. There are plenty of books that start in a dark, heavy way, and that's perfectly fine. But at this point in my career, in my life, I took it to mean I was terrible before I began and that I should never write another word again. I took that criticism. I'm like, this is a big editor and they know what they're doing and this is terrible. I could have read that same exact criticism to read as oh, she said it was very well written, and I could have taken that as well, at least the writing is decent, but I didn't. I was just oh, it's horrible. I was thoughtless. How could I start a book like this? Over time, I realized that it wasn't the end of the story to have this criticism, and I started the story from another point. So I considered the note, and I agreed for the kind of book that I was writing, which was a fantasy novel, should not have been so heavy to the start. It just didn't fit the story I was telling. So I just started in a new place. That gave me the confidence that I could keep going despite getting this critique. I won't ever forget it because it was true. All of the things she said were true, and also I could have taken that criticism to say, no, this is what I want. This is what I'm trying to say with this book. But it really wasn't. And I think that's really what she saw in it, was this is not really aligned with the rest of the book that you're writing. I was trying to make it as good as I could instead of thinking, how can this be better for the reader? This mindset strategy is use criticism to improve rather than implode. Number 4, develop the kind of person you are instead of what you have achieved. Make it more of an identity change. I always like to tell my kids, there's always someone better than you and always someone worse when it comes to anything, right? Someone always has more Pokemon than you, someone always has less Pokemon than you. I just find it's like a good barometer for all of us to remember when we're looking to other people to decide where we sit. It's just a healthy practice to remember to be grateful for what you have and where you are. You can strive for more if you'd like. But what matters is how you see yourself. Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of what you do? This is a lesson that I feel like repeats in my life all of the time. Maya Angelou says, people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. It's the kind of person that you are, not what you achieved. You can't take your achievements with you at the end of this journey. All you can do is be the kind of person that you want to be, and you can decide that at any time. And so sometimes I find it better to make lists. I'm such a list maker. Instead of making a list of goals, make a list of attributes of the kind of person that you want to be. Then maybe you can decide what goals would accentuate that. I'm a very ambitious person, so it's not like I don't have achievements that I want to get, but what kind of person am I becoming in that process? That one, number 4, was develop the kind of person you are instead of what you have achieved. And then the 5th one, use other people's success as fuel rather than using it as a way to feel bad about what you have. I've always been an avid reader. I would read Margaret Atwood and Octavia Butler and be astounded by the talent that they had to tell this really great story as well as write beautiful prose. When I started writing through all the different variations of poetry, plays, TV, film, and novels, I want to be as good as ... And one of the ways that you can use other people's success and like your taste level maybe doesn't match your output level when you start. It's kind of connected to number 1, which was adding yet. I'm not there yet. Instead of someone else's achievements, success making you jealous or envious or make you feel bad about yourself, if you look at them like an opportunity, an option, that's something that you could get to one day. I just find it really helpful, and when I'm reading something really freaking good, I tell myself, I haven't written a book this good yet. I'm going to remember this one as I'm writing. I'm going to be thinking about this person and what they were able to achieve in words as I move to my next level. It makes it fun that way. I actually really enjoy the process of improving. Like most writers, you look back at old things that you've done, and yeah, you can be proud that you accomplished it, but you'd probably want to completely redo it and improve it if you could. Instead of looking at other people's success as a way to make yourself feel bad that you're not at that level, look at it as an inspiration. That way, you still get your work done. You still get to go on your journey, become the person that you want to become. Those are my mindset strategies. I hope that something I said helped you and that you will go forth and just take a baby step toward a goal. Even if that baby step is just telling yourself you're not there yet. The only person you need to impress is you. Maybe you're not an astronaut yet. You're not in the NBA yet. If this is something you truly desire, then go for it. Today's breaths are going to focus on rest. How often do you give yourself permission to rest? Whether it's during the day or on the weekends or in the evening. Let's take these 3 breaths and remind ourselves about the importance of rest. When we inhale, maybe we can extend our bellies, and then when we exhale, can we relax the shoulders? Take a nice deep inhale and hold it at the top. Exhale, allowing the shoulders to come down. Maybe allow the lips to part, relaxing the jaw. And a second inhale. Again, we hold it at the top. Exhale, allowing those shoulders to drop. Again, on this third inhale, allow the belly to extend, filling with air. And a deep inhale. Hold it at the top. And a nice slow exhale, allowing the shoulders to release, the jaw to release. Today, see if you can give yourself some extra breaths of rest, permission to rest, allowing the body to recover from all of the stimulation we have today. Have a good day. Be well. Thank you for listening to Jennifer with Coffee. Follow us on Instagram at Jennifer with Coffee and on Substack. This has been a Kings of Content production. Music by Oreo CC.